Hello everyone, I'm Wael Bilgassam. Have you ever passed modify in TIA Portal? And sometimes it works, but other times nothing happens. Alright, today I will show you exactly what it happens and how to fix it. This is a problem many engineers face in TIA Portal. You press modify or send a signal from your HMI and sometimes it works perfectly, but other times nothing happens. You try again and again, and finally it works. But you have no idea why it did not work in the first time. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going inside the PLC and how to make it work in the first time, every time. Let's say you have a tag connected directly to a physical input, like I0.0. This means it's coming from a real hardware, for example, a sensor or a machine. In Siemens PLCs, these physical inputs are read from something called the process image of inputs. This happens only once at each scan cycle. A scan cycle in the PLC loop, it reads all inputs and all the inputs, runs your program, and then updates the outputs. The important point here is that I0.0, which is the input, stays locked for the whole cycle. Now, if the sensor sends a very short pulse, or if you are trying to change I0.0, which is the input, using a modify, that change might only exist for a fraction of the cycle, too short for the program to catch it. That's why TIA Portal may say successfully modified, but in your logic, nothing happens. Here's a quick example. I have two networks doing the exact same thing. One use I11.4, a real input from hardware, and the other uses M2.2, an internal memory, a bit that I'm using as a test input. When I modify the input, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when I modify the memory bit, it works every time. That's because M lives inside the CPU RAM. It's not tied to a hardware model, so nothing overrides it except your own program or your own changes. In conclusion, for training purposes, the best solution is to use memory bit instead of writing directly to a physical input. You can treat M or any memory bit just like an input in your logic. But the difference is that it's not coming from a real hardware. It's stored inside the PLC memory. The reason we do this in training is to give a stable, predictable setup so you can focus on mastering the logic and understanding how your program reacts. In real sensors, the pulse speed can be different, but HMI or SCADA commands are instant and depend on immediate program response. This is where the topic overlaps with the sensor pulse timing. Will they match the speed of the modify function in TIA Portal? Well, that's something we will explore in another video. For now, focus on building the logic the right way, so when you move to a real hardware, your foundation is solid. Thank you.